Hello, this is Mike, Nostressmike.com. And I want to kind of tell you a story, and I've told this story before, but I'm sure it's a little more meaningful now, because now you got a little something to relate to. And it was martial law. I say my wife was, I'm half Chinese, my wife was all Chinese, and she's from Guatemala, Central America. And when she was maybe 9, 10 years old, and they had problems. I really don't know what happened, what sparked the probably revolution or something. Oh, yeah, it had been the revolution, um, because they had a 30-year revolution. So they were under martial law for 30 years. Boy, can you imagine that? 30 years being under martial law. But when it started, and this is why they went to martial law. And the thing is, people were rioting, and I mean, talking about gangs. I mean, there were gangs, and they were just going house to house, and it was very, very scary. They were killing people, and they don't have guns. You got to remember, they don't have guns down there. So, they beat people to death. They set people on fire, and they do all kinds of weird stuff like that. And I say, my wife was the oldest daughter, had 5 kids, and she had a brother that was older than her, so he was maybe 11 or 12. And so all the kids were with the mama in the back of the house, and they were downtown. They lived downtown, and they were going around the streets. One gang would come through, and another gang come through, and they'd be beating on the doors, and any place they can get in, they would get in and loot and kill and just do crazy stuff. And so her mom and the kids were all huddled back there in the corner, and her father was at the door, and he had a handgun, and they would beat on the door, and just all kinds of this kind of stuff. And the daddy would say, "I'm not going to let those son of bitches come in and rape my women." And my wife remembered that. And so when we got married and started having kids and stuff, and, I always have Vietnam vet. So yeah, when you're especially a combat vet, when you understand what fear is, and you understand how it's manipulated and how it's used, and then you take steps because you don't want to be scared, because it's not a good feeling. And so I would buy guns and stuff like. Well, had some guns anyway before we got married, but after we got married and started having kids, I'd start buying some guns. And my wife never said anything to me about it. And then finally one time I asked her, and then that's when she told me the story, about her father. She remembers her father standing there at the door, and they were so scared. There was so many people outside, and they were banging on everything and setting fires, and she said it was really scary. And she knew my job as the man of the house was to protect her and the kids. And it wasn't up to her to judge how I'm going to do it. Because she knew, and especially being from Vietnam and stuff, she knew that I was, I understand force. I understand how it works. And so I say, I'm ready to stand fast. I mean, I've got the right weapons to do exactly what I need to do for how many people? How long is this going to take? So And this is why you see me making, I got all these three-man militia videos up. And the reason is I've been down this road before. I've been down it by myself. Is on one extreme. You don't want to do all this crap by yourself. I tell you, it's bad, but I've had to. And then the other extreme is I was in the Marines. So you look around, everybody around me, we're all armed. We're all going to do what we have to do, So that's the two extremes. And in the middle is what we have to do as citizens. And that's why you hear me say, Americans are strong individuals. Well, I've had to kind of reevaluate that because they're not as strong as I was thinking. Unless you want to say, well, it's strong because I'm staying in the house like I'm supposed to. Doing as you're told is not a strength. Doing what is right is the strength. And always doing what you're told isn't always the right thing to do. And so then that's where the strength comes from. But I say, that's why I talked about getting out of the city. You don't want to be in the city. But like I say, you don't have people, right now, you don't have people rioting and burning and killing. And see, in the United States, it's a little different because everybody's got guns. So we're at the extreme. The third world countries, they don't have guns. But here, we all have guns. So, I mean, if you're going to do some looting, you're going to get crazy. You're going to have to think really hard if you want to do that or not. Because like I say, half these households got guns. And now how many of these people are capable of using those guns? That's why I wanted to tell you the story about my wife. This is Mike, Nostressmike.com.